Well, it doesn't take a lot of wind to get these flags blown after all. And the Bonnie Blue, I guess is the 4x6. I actually had a 4x6 Confederate flag there, which looked large before, right? And then I had a 5x8. And it's 8x12. It's above it. The Bonnie Blue goes back to 1810. It's not actually, it is a war between the states flag that was adopted later on, but it's actually a flag that goes back to 1810 that represents independence and a fight for freedom. It's just an older flag, actually. What I got on order is a 5x8 General Lee headquarters flag, which it looks like the first national CSA flag, which has 2 red stripes, one on the top, one on the bottom, with a white stripe in the middle, a wide one, right? Wide stripes. The blue canton, just like the U.S. flag, and it has the stars, the 13 stars, represented by the 13 Confederate states, but they are in a pattern of the Ark of the Covenant, and which is very important because the Southerners at the time were very much into ancient Israel history and the Torah. They call it the Old Testament, but the Torah. And the reality of it is the subterfuge by what has been said, at the time, and also what's, later on at the time, where they made the war into a moral crusade, was never the fact of the underlying reasons of the war. If you look back at Abe Lincoln, very high-powered attorney that worked for the railroads, he was very much financially rewarded by the railroads. How many slaves did he ever represent in their quest for freedom? And under any circumstance, did he ever represent one single black slave in his entire legal career? The answer is no. No, absolutely none. So that tells you something about Abe Lincoln. Also, his home state of Illinois had laws forbidding freed black slaves, or black slaves that are escaping from, or honestly freed slaves, even the ones that weren't escaping, to settle in Illinois. Did Abe Lincoln ever challenge that in courts or even say anything about it, that it was wrong? No. So when he always talked about preserve the Union, substitute the word union for revenue, and then the whole thing makes a lot more sense, because that's exactly what he was doing, preserving the revenue, because most of the revenue was coming from the South. So I probably will be flying the, maybe later on, I'll leave this Bonnie Blue up here for about 6 months, but later on I'm going to fly that 5x8 General Lee flag. And it doesn't take a lot for these flags to blow and get in the air. There was no wind at all. Right now there's no wind. I didn't even feel like there was any wind when these were flying, and they're wet. So it's going to be pretty visible. That larger pole is actually now very visible from the main road, even though it's probably, let's see, 25 and just about, well, under 200 feet from the main road. So, but it's still very visible. There's no house over there, for one, and actually you could see it over that. You can see it over the rooftop of that house, and actually the one over there. So it's high enough to get over the rooftops. That was the one caveat of this one. You had to be right there, a line, to see that. Now you could be down the road all the way down that way, or this way, and see this one. So a lot more visibility. And once they dry out a little bit, what I could do, I don't feel like spending the money on it though right now, is because I gotta see how this one works out. But it does seem to work well. If this flag was not going to fly very well, they sell a 2-ply polyester 10x15, which is less weight but bigger, and it would pick up the wind very easily. And but it's like, I don't know, 250 bucks or some crazy crap like that. Like this one was about 90 bucks, which is a deal and a half considering flag prices are all over the place. So I bought this off of Rebel Nation. This is a heavy-duty Denier 200 or 300 polyester with woven, embroidered stars. They're not printed on there, so But you can see that one's blown, right? And if you look down here, nothing. Well, very little, right? Very little. And you look up here, there's more wind up there. That's why. There's more wind up there. I noticed that even when I put this 26 footer up, there's more wind the higher up you go. But if people want to get into doing this, and you can also get, I found that eBay is an excellent source for Confederate flags that don't have the X. You know, something about the X, it's like it triggers the hell out of people. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what the hell the deal is. It's a nice looking flag, but they have the Bonnie Blues. They have the Bonnie Blue in 3x5, 4x6, 5x8. And you can't really find these on Amazon that much. I got that one off of Amazon, but I would have got the Bonnie Blue off of eBay and then realized they had a 5x8. So, you know, they have the General Lee flag, and they also have, not just in 3x5, they have the 5x8 Ark of the Covenant General Lee flag on eBay. That's, you know, that's the one I ordered. There's another place where you can get like 200 flags for some ridiculously low price. I forgot what it was. I probably will post a link on the bottom. But if you have an SEV camp, you want to order 200 flags and have everybody put up 3 of them or something or whatever, fine, go for it. You know. eBay actually is an excellent source for the Confederate flags, except for the one with the X. It's crazy. I mean, what's their problem? You know, they're weirdos, you know. I know, personally think, the Roth Roof, whatever the hell his name really was, incident was a contrived brainwashing victim, and it was set up. I looked at some of the things, I put some out about that before, but, the other thing is, what kind of underwear did he wear? Why don't you ban his underwear? What about the other stuff he was into? There's a lot of other stuff he was into. Actually, he was spitting on the American flag. I don't spit on the American flag at all. No, I have nothing against the American flag. But we got a gazillion American flags out there, and I want to have a little bit of a minority representation here with the rebel flag, okay? That's what I call this, minority representation, rebel. A little bit different, still American, just Southern twist. That's all that is, okay? So, I mean, they should be banning the type of underwear that guy used, right? I mean, why not? What kind of shoes did he wear? But, that's why it kind of reeks something was a little fishy with that whole thing, right? In the first place, I got to mention it. Anyway. So, and I've been wrapping up the, it was cool like the rain came by, because these real heavy duty cardboard pipes that the 3 pieces came in. You know what? That's right, there was 2 pieces. I cut one of them in half. So there's 3 pieces. There's actually 2 pieces, but one was 25 feet, one was 15 feet. So I cut the 25 and a half. I made two 12 and a halves. So I had 3. I got 2 of them wrapped up in there, heavy duty construction bags. And I was able just the cardboard got all wet. I was gonna have to cut these up with a chainsaw or a sawzall. Cardboard was all wet. I just stood on them and they crushed them down, and I just folded them up. And they're heavy. I fit them in there. So, well, that's good. The rain freaking, get it done before the freaking rain stops and everything dries out, because that cardboard's gonna get like wood again. So anyway, and today I'll take this buggy out and get the heavy duty rebar and the big augers for that one corner that needs to be strengthened, where the bolt is only on the bottom. There's no bolt on the top there. It's got like a little weld. I'll fix that up. It's actually probably stronger than the original. And this way I still have it set up where I can take the pole down if I need to. That's the beauty of this type of pole. Look at that stupid tilt base. What I should have done is, let me walk over here. What I should have done is, what the hell? These bolts were sticking up, right, on the bottom. Let me get closer. Right here. So this thing's folding over, right? That thing's folding over down there. Yeah, right. If I adjusted this up, this bottom plate up higher, so the bolts were only sticking out maybe an inch or something. It would have went right on there. Then I could have adjusted the plate down and pushed the bolts through the hole. Duh. But you know, I was working by myself and at night. But you know, I'm a little scared to freaking get help with people, because sometimes help is actually, it could have been worse with help, because there's certain kinds of help that are really bad news, you know what I mean? And I'm afraid of that kind of shit. You know, I mean, I would have noticed this, I guess, if I was doing it in the daytime, that the bolt, it didn't look like it was bending over. Then I had to, what I did was I cut the top of it off, and I knocked it up, then I welded it. I was going to try to bring the whole plate down, but you know what? It's got the bottom adjuster thing. It's got these things with the black truck bed lining on them. You don't even notice these things. I mean, as soon as you walk about 50 feet away, the fence is so high over here, you don't even notice these things. But we're going to get heavy-duty rebar coated with, I don't know, chassis saver truck bed lining over this. There's going to be a big steel auger on this side, so the kind you turn in, and one over there. And the two rebars, like about that thick, are going to go over this corner right here. And once you get it like lined up where it's just starting to put some tension on it, you put a half a more turn on that, or a quarter more turn on that auger, and it cinches it down. The auger is going to be in there about that deep, which is about as much as those things are in. They're only in there a foot in the concrete. It's just going to be in sand, but then I can throw a little concrete on there too if I want to. But the thing is, even these augers that are in sand are very, very strong. The big ones, even the little ones, they're very, very strong. So it's actually going to be stronger than the original, and this way I can always take down the flag. That's the beauty of this damn thing. And I guess the next time I take it down, you know, once you do it once, you're just like, oh, okay, you know what to do now. You know, it's pretty tired from work, and then I did this that Sunday night, and Monday I had to start doing other stuff and whatever, but it's in good shape. But you can, eBay does have a slew of these CSA flags on there, just like you can get various sizes. You have to put in the search engine, like if you say, I think it's, you know, just say Bonnie Blue, then put the number 5, then the capital X, 8, and you'll find 5 by 8 Bonnie Blues. You know, otherwise you're gonna be looking all over the freaking place. You can look in Google all you want. I can't find them. I only found them through the search engine on eBay. You know, so freaking pretty wild. Anyway, just so and there's another link. I try to find it again. There's some place up in Florida that they'll sell you bulk flags, like 200 of them for like, it's some ridiculously low price. 200 3x5 flags. And like I put out a video like for like 50 bucks, including the concrete and everything, and even the support lines and the halyard and all that crap. You can put up about a 20-foot pole. You know, so get them up there, man. I mean, you know, it's a minority flag. It is now, man. You know, so. And you see that thing blowing? This one, well, this one's blowing a little bit now. That one, not much. See? That one's limp. This one here. See, the higher up it is, the more it blows. Pretty cool. So, you know, I'm just doing, I was going to go to the range today, but I said, but it was pouring out ridiculous. If it was like this, you know, time we get there, it'll be pretty much dark because with the clouds. So I ain't going, I'll go there tomorrow. But I'm keeping busy. But, yeah, I'll show you on eBay. I'll show you where I'll point to a link too, where I bought the General Lee headquarters flag. 60 bucks delivered, right? For a 5x8, not a 3x5. A 5x8 is a pretty good sized flag, man. Like this one back here. Yeah, I can't even see it hardly. That's a 4x6. And you can tell that's quite a bit bigger than a 3x5. You got to figure you got an area. You know, a 3x5 is 15 square feet. A 4x6 is 24. So right there, you're talking about 50% higher, bigger, right? You go to a 5x8, you got 40 square feet. So from 15 to 15 square feet for a 3x5 to a 5x8, you're talking like 2 2/3 bigger. That's a significant difference, and it's still not a really, you can put a 25-foot pole up, which is, it's far, like that, something like that, it's a 26.5, you know, that's a 4x6. It'll be significantly bigger than the 3x5 with a, you know, 18-foot pole or something, right? But the deal is, or 15-foot pole or whatever, so 16, 17, you know, it's 15 to 18, whatever, right? But the deal is, the higher up you go, this damn thing was deceptively more difficult to do. And if you got an aluminum pole, either you're going to have some kind of heavy-duty equipment or a crew, even with a 40-footer. Or, I don't know, maybe a few of those rope ratchet pullers with anchor points or something if you're working yourself. I guess there's a way to do it, you know, if you got something you can do. But just look good, the gold ball. The gold ball, yeah. So, you're raw. Anyway, so now that one's all wrapped around. But that's what happens with them, you know. They get unwrapped and they wrap and but anyway, over now. Hazard County signing off in Hagaco Gasoline. Yeah, and they're gonna be taking out the buggy here. This thing. The Harley. Gonna be taking this out some more. Move my double mama on the gas tank. See that? Hey, double mama. So we got a little wet in here too. Look at that. That's how freaking rainy it was. So anyway, over and out. And you can see the bonnie blue just unfurled. That's how it is, man. But they're flying good, man. There's hardly any wind too. That's a winner for me. Well, through media conditioning on the public for many years, you know, the flag with the X has, you know, this goes one way or the other, the way people think about it. The bonnie blue flag basically means the same thing. You know, independence and freedom. But people look at it and go, because they don't even see that much of them. That's why, I guess, I don't really know. But, you know what I'm saying? You're right. People got to be a little more educated. And we're going to be going over some things also about the American Revolution, even about Aaron Burr. So, you know, a lot of different things going on. There was a lot of intrigue going on, even by people way back then. You know, not everybody in history is what you think he is. It's not just Abe Lincoln, it's a lot of people, man, I'm telling you that right now. But they got to put the thing out there to make people all think the same. So, you know what I mean? The reason they do that is so people can, you know, basically herd it into one pen, I guess you would call that, right? Corral or pen. That's really what they do, except they do it as the corral of the mind or the pen of the mind, right? You can't think past a certain border, right? That's simply a red, white, and blue flag that was taken from the Scottish cross of St. Andrew from the Scottish flag. They was blue and white. The one on the top I'm talking about. And they made it red, white, and blue. It's, as American tradition is, 13 stars. For the 11 states that seceded and the 2 states that wanted to secede, which was Kentucky and Missouri. That's why there's 13 versus 11. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. But it was a flag that fought against the financial oligarchs of the Northeast. And that's the ones that don't like it. There's your absolute truth.